Good morning. I'm going to start with an apology and a retraction. Yesterday, when I published that video, I said you need to put a nickel in the well of that valve on the Sankey S spear thing to remove it. And you don't. You need to put a dime in, not a nickel. And for the last 50 years, I've got that the wrong way around. So my American colleagues can now laugh at me at my stupidity. Hey everybody, look at the stupid English guy. He thinks a dime is a nickel and a nickel is a dime. Well, I did. I'm sorry about that. But why is it smaller when it's twice the value? That doesn't make sense either, guys. So come on, sort it out. 1 dime on the left. That's 10 cents. It's the smallest one. The next one, 5 cents, is the nickel, and then the quarter on the right. So you want the one on the left. It says 1 dime on it. That's a bit of a giveaway. That's the one you need. Anyway, on with the brew day. Morning, gang. Right, that was last night's prep, and here we are. We've got, this is both brews stacked up. So for each brew we need one of those. That's a 25 kilo sack of extra pale. There's another 20 kilos of extra pale there, 45 kilos. We've got 1.86, I think, kilos of Cara 30. And then in these bags here, we've got a mixture of Maris Otter, that's the 15% approx Maris Otter that goes in, plus the wheat I've put in the same bag. So we want one of them, one of them, one of them, and one of them in each brew. It is currently 6:43, and unfortunately, I've miscalculated my timing in an attempt. In an event, you can tell it's early, can't you? In an attempt to save a bit of electricity, I did a quick calculation about how long it would take to raise the water in there from 15 to 74, I think I need. And I set the timer, expecting to be in just as it got to temp, and I'm early, or it's late, I don't know which. But 6:43 and 68, so I should stop being so stingy and give myself an extra hour. So how are we going to get this brew days double header organised? So here's the problem, right? This tank is 600 litres to the absolute brim. There's a hole drilled about there underneath that, which was the original clip to hold it. So I'll lose the top few inches anyway. That's when it overfills. That's how we know it gets through the little hole and runs down the inside of the insulation onto the floor. So there's 600 in there. I need, for the brew, I need 223 litres into there for the mash. And then for the sparge, I need a further 196 litres. That's 419 litres overall. The grain then absorbs a lot of it, and we end up with whatever it is, 330 at the end. So by the time I've mashed and sparged, I'm down to approximately 150 litres in that. As we're sparging, we'll be transferring into this. So prior to the sparge, if I can top this up with water, which is heated in this while I'm mashing, then I get myself an extra, well, whatever I can fit in, essentially, but certainly the same amount of water that's gone in, and maybe I can top it up, the mash tun, top it up before I transfer the warm water back. So certainly somewhere in the region of 220 to 250 litres on top of the 150. I can then mash with that water, and hopefully the mash tun will raise the little bit of water that I need for the sparge, the 200 litres. Hopefully that's going to warm that up in the time it takes to mash. I'm going to have to work that out with a heating power calculator thing. So this is currently full of water and heating. I've put way too much in, but an amount that, according to the calculations, could be heated in about 2 hours. And that's been on since the moment I got here. So by the time this is up to temperature and we've mashed, typically it's an hour and a half by the time the mash is finished. Typically could do it quicker, but I'm just squeezing every last bit of sugar out of that grain, so as much as I can. So I think we'll be okay. By the time the mash is finished, we should have hot water in there to transfer into there to then sparge as we transfer back into that again. If there's any water over, I'm going to use it to give these another clean, because no harm. They're clean anyway, but I'll give them another blast just to make absolutely sure. The other option is, if that all goes wrong, the other option is to lengthen the brew day a little bit by using the hot water that comes out of the heat exchanger and separating the brews completely. So I won't be able to mash until I'm transferring brew 1 from the copper into the fermenter. I think it's going to add 3 hours, and it's going to be a long day anyway, so I don't know. And the third option is come back tomorrow and do the other one if it all goes wrong. So we'll decide as we go along what the best option is. I've got the homebrew boys coming over in a bit. 11 o'clock they're coming to do bottle swap. I haven't got anything to give them unless one of them wants to take a test cask and a straw, because I've got no way of serving it here. Anyway, there would be two little overruns that I had that are essentially scrap. I'm going to use them to work out the kegging, essentially. Just so I've got some actual beer type contents to play with. Anyway, got me thinking, because I think David's coming over as well. It got me thinking of, so we've still never finished these, and we never finished these doors. And I was looking last night, around the time I was setting up, there's a few of us sort of got together on a WhatsApp group, a few brewery startups. There was us, Hush in Northwich, and a couple of lads in Cheltenham from Werkstatt. Forgive me if I've pronounced that wrong. Werkstatt beer. It sounds German because German's their thing. And they're in Cheltenham. They've raced ahead of us. I mean, they've got a tap room open. In fact, it's open today at the weekends. And they make some great beer down there. Anyway, I digress. They've got cold rooms with doors on. So I've asked Joe, one of the owners of the place, if he could just send me an idea of how he's mounted his doors. I like Harry's thing with the lift-off doors and the handles on the front, but I'm just thinking it might be a little bit awkward lifting, and maybe I can hinge as long as I've got enough space in front to swing them open. But they're bloody massive, these openings to get pallets in, and I'm not sure how you would sort of hinge it to support the weight of a door and the insulation and stuff. So I've asked Joe to send me a video. If he sends it me in time, I'll stick it in here while I'm talking. But yeah, really useful to have other people in the same boat to talk to. And Joe and Sam down there have been awesome. Yeah, doors. Like I said, don't need it yet. It's only 10 degrees today, but as soon as it starts to warm up, I'm going to have to get this heat dump commissioned. And there you go. There's an idea for another video. We'll do that. That will do. Little touch on the high side, but I'll tell you why. Because there's a bit too much water in. Not much, but I've gone over because this thing says 132 litres, and clearly you'll see there we are somewhere between 300 and 350, and it was 580, maybe 600 in the tank. So let's call it 350, 450, 550, 200 and something. So we've gone over a little bit on the water. We needed 200. We needed 223. I think we got about 250. So those extra 20 litres of hot water are just pushing us over on temperature, 66. But 66 is okay. 65, 66 works for this. But the issue is the meter is reading 132. So I suspect it's 100 litres off. And it's probably, I'll have to check in the settings if there's a way. I think that's not, it thinks there's a different sensor attached to it which signals differently as the water's going through. I'll have a look at that while we mash, see if I can work it out. Just give this a stir, just checking if we're hot enough to go into the HLT. Could do with it being 73, 74 really, 66, not long to go. Yeah, give it a bit longer. We're only halfway through the mash because of the messing about with the water before the meter, so good time. We might just work out that. At least we can get that filled back up to the brim again, which should be enough. I'll have to work it out, but should be enough for most of the mash and sparge, and we can get some more water in and get that warmed up. I think we might be alright, you know. Looking at these numbers here, so if I top the HLT up with the kettle water back up to basically 600, just looking at the markings, I think it's 600 usable space plus the bit at the top, because it's designed to have a floating lid. So if it is 600, I'm going to top it back up to 600. I'm going to need to take out 196, call it 200 for the sparge. That's going to leave me with 400. So for batch 2, I'm going to need 419. So I'm 20 litres short. So I think we'll be alright with that, you know. I could get 20 litres of cold in it while I'm mashing. And by the time we finish, that should be back up to temp again. I'm going for it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'm pretty sure it will. Let's find out. It's going pretty well though. Wow, bro. 10:56. The water wasn't hot enough when I got in, so to wait an hour. It was too low. I set it an hour because I filled it right up. It's more time to heat up. Didn't know that. So I had to wait around, and then I thought, right, I'll try. When I was ready, then I mashed the water in. It said 123 litres on that, but on this it said like 200 litres have gone in. Just in case there's any bits that I've got through the screen, I'm just going to do four or five jugs, and then I'm just going to recirculate a bit. It's getting clearer with each jug now, rather than transferring it straight away, just to get anything below the grain bed. It's a bit lucky on top, so we've done that. Okay. And just while that's running, we'll get set up with the sparge arm. These are these bends that I bought. I know I've shown you before, but I've got three the same, one for each fermenter and one for the boil kettle. They're still the wrong size. Mike's actually here, but he's about to go somewhere, so I'm not going to interrupt him. But what we've got on there is to just put an O-ring, just to give us a little bit of friction fit inside this channel that I'll show you in a second. I'm going to do the same on the other two as well, or use PTFE tape, all sanitized obviously. So this is how it goes in. So that's what it looks like. It's a little bit high, but as we get to the bottom I can knock it out and we'll capture the bit that's below it. I'm going to get these cut down quite a bit shorter when I've got Mike's attention for more than 10 minutes. So, but we'll go with it today. It worked last time. No problem with that. Okay, so butterfly valve is closed. We've got this hose, doesn't need to be the blue one, it's not boiling yet. This hose coming out of the pump, and then the pump is connected to the output of the mash tun, which is currently closed. No, it's not. That's currently open. I must have opened that a minute ago without realising. Okay, good. And then the sparge obviously is our newly filled HLT, currently at 74 degrees, which we're going to spray on the top as we're draining out very slowly. So I'm going to start the pump first, then we'll start the water. Actually, I'm going to program the water. I need 196 litres. Start that in a minute. Thank you, same to you, enjoy Alton. Right, we're mid-sparge. It's transferring in, it looks pretty clear. I've just done some readings, they're still really high. It worries me because I don't sparge at home, so I'm not used to the process, but this is still running in at like 1068, clearly until the dilute work mixes in. We're going to get high readings, but so for now I'm just going to keep my eye on the level in case I need to adjust with water. I'm just going to get a quick sample now to do a gravity check and check the clarity. Not that the clarity is that important at this stage, but I do like to see it clear going in if I can. Hopefully it's not so hot it cracks the glass, but we'll see. The colour's right, but obviously it's still got a bit of murk to it, as we'd probably expect. But I'll just check, this has got water in now, so it'll dilute a bit. I'm just going to check the gravity over a bit in the jug. It's still 1068, so we'll see how it runs through.
A few more options to do.
Who's the big place? What was the big place? It's gone now. It's all big there.
Right, the bottle swap guys have been and gone. Weird little thing. I'm really pleased actually. There's a couple that are coming to Middlewich to visit some of the hostelries and sample the cask ale, and they came in to say hello. They'd heard about us up from Cheadle-Hulme, so hi guys, nice to meet you. They're off now to the pub, or the pubs actually. Gonna have a great day by the sound of it. So boil is raging. Richie's come down as well. Hello Richie. Richie's come down as well. He's sniffing the steam. Who can blame him? Mash tun's ready for the next set of grain. We're going to get that mashed in, and we'll follow it along the vessels into the other fermenter. Water additions. Yeah. Right, 2.305. Ready? Yeah. Steady. Start. A lot of dick.
No, sorry mate,
I'm not admitting. Okay, I'll admit that one. So we've just spent 10 minutes filling the mash tun, the grains here, and we're putting the water in. And we've left the valve, the butterfly valve open at the bottom, and I'm like, where's the water going? And what's happening is the water that's going in, below the grain bed, fortunately. Oh no, yeah it was, right at the bottom of the grain bed, because it was on the snorkel pipe thing. It was just going straight down the drain. So now I've got no water in the HLT. And I've got a really thick mash. it needs to be. It's all right. It's wet, but we need to get some water in quick. So the sooner I can get this heat exchanger running and get the water out of it, the better. Because we really need to get some more liquid in there. Plus we're missing water for sparge as well. So I told you it was going to be chaos. Right, it's been a bit manic, but we're getting there. We are currently transferring Brew 1. Slowly, but the temperature on the Inkbird is currently showing 19. It's a little bit above. I just keep checking the temperature with the probe. It's like anywhere between 18 and 22, depending on the speed of the pump. So I'll turn that up a bit quicker in a minute. That's transferring into that sanitised FV, and we're currently draining out. Mash 2 is complete. Obviously we can't do anything with it yet because the kettle's still full. So I'm just doing a quick gravity check pre-sparge just to see where we're at. The previous one was with roughly the same amount of water, was 1068 I think it was. I'll tell you in a second, I'm going to have a look. Yeah, I think it was 1068. We're currently at 1068. Bang on. So that's done. I'm amazed it's done because we completely bollocksed everything up. Dumping all of the water that was going into the mash straight down the grid because we left that valve open. Because it just didn't come to mind because it's the second brew in a row and we'd obviously rinsed the mash tun out into the drain and then not thought about the valve. Fortunately, the way that the water inlet goes right to the bottom, it's not like we've mashed and lost the sweet work. We've lost water that's just run straight out of the bottom. So, but what it meant was we didn't have enough water to get a mash consistency that we needed. It was very thick. I work about 3 to 1, a bit less maybe. This was nowhere near. So very quickly we worked out how to get some water in there. Anything we could use to heat water up, we did. And then we were dropping the copper down from 100 degrees to 80 for the hop stand. So that gave us a bit more water, which was just enough to loosen the mash. So just good luck more than anything. But anyway, we're done and we've hit the initial target there. It's currently 2 p.m. That's the fastest, despite the problems, that's the fastest I've ever gone from water to fermenter. That'll be done and transferred in 25 minutes probably, so we can go on the second brew. So I might actually be home in time to watch a bit of TV. Right, brew 1 in the tank. Airlock, no yeast yet. I'm going to pitch yeast at the same time. We are at 22.4, which is perfect. Happy with that. Brew 2, mid-sparge at the moment. We rescued this one. I'm pretty sure it'll turn out okay. The gravity in there, pre-sparge, 1068, same as the previous one. So we haven't really lost anything. It just had a period of about 15 minutes where the mash was really quite thick. And then the remainder of the 1 hour 30 mash, we were able to get that water into it at 65, 66. So escaped by the skin of our teeth. Currently filling. This is just the first bit. We did recirc for a little bit just to get those bits out from underneath the grain bed as before. But this one definitely is a little bit more murky. Maybe that's a consequence of what we did. We'll find out soon enough, I guess. But so far, so good. We were able to mash for the correct amount of time at the right temperature. Just a bit thicker for the first 15, so I don't know what effect that or impact that might have, but we're going to find out soon, I guess. Only one overflow in here so far. We now have a full HLT at 61 degrees, and we probably have 100 litres on the floor, also at 61 degrees. But it needed a wash anyway, so I'm okay with that. Right, next while we're filling, we've got to wash and clean these mesh bags on the floor with all the hop residue in, ready to refill them with the hops for this boil. which are in the boil hops. So washing the sink is good enough because they're going to get boiled to death anyway for at least 20 minutes. So we'll crack on with that now. Batch 1 sold out. Jack's just contacted us. They're smashing through that next cask, so we had one left of the first batch, and Elliot's just dropped it down to him. So that's it, it's gone. We have batch 2 left, which isn't quite ready. Another few days conditioning required. I think I packaged that last Sunday. It's Saturday now, so middle of the week. Next weekend certainly they'll be ready. And slightly more bitter. Be very interested to hear if people prefer version 1 or version 2 actually. The recipe we've brewed today, these 2 batches, is recipe 1 again because it just works. So we'll stick with that unless everybody really rates the other one much higher, like I said before. Okay, right, we're nearly on the boil. I'm going to dig out this, very close actually. I'm just going to dig out this mash tun for the second time today. And then we start tidying up then, work our way backwards. Okay, here we go. I'm looking for 10:39 to 10:41, maybe 10:42. I'd be happy with anything around there. And I honestly haven't done this. This is, you're seeing it live. Oh, 10:30, 10:40, 10:45, and a bit. No, hang on, 10:41, 2, 3, 4, 10:44 and a half. I'll just get a thermometer, mate. Check the temperature. What you got? 16. It's cold. 16.2. Right, let's let it warm up a bit. 7:03, still here, but we're nearly done. We are nearly done. Just transferring batch 2 into this fermenter. It's amazing really, same recipe, same ingredients, weighed out, identical. Because of the chaos with the mash, running out of water, dumping the water down the drain. I've got one at 10:40. What was the first one out? 10:40 what? This one. 10:41, and I got one at 10:44. Which has to be that extended thick mash that we did. The water meter definitely something not quite right. Still, brand new box. I'm using the old sensor. I'm going to swap that sensor out and put the new one on. They don't seem to be talking to each other very well, so I used the sensor that came with the new one. But we've managed to eyeball it, and I've got lots of notes, so again, it all helps future repeatability. But it's been fun, but kind of stressful at the same time. Elliot's been working hard, as you can see. Right, I'm going to get this transfer finished, pitch the yeast, and time to go. And we are done. Not complete, I've done my usual by the way, just I'm going to deal with that in the morning, it's too late now, can't be bothered. Get a good nuke with caustic and whatnot. Floor's done, mash tun's clean. Everything's off. Not hooked the cooling up, just going to see what happens next couple of days with that. It's 18 degrees outside, so I'm thinking it's probably just going to be okay to leave it. I don't think it needs any warm or cool. We'll see how that emerges. I've got the gear to do one or the other anyway, so. And that's it, we are done. We completely sold out of batch 1 now, might have mentioned that before. Right, guys, see you next time. Thanks for watching.